Yeah.
You want to like him, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. We straight gangsters over here,
Straight
man.
gangsters. Yeah, good morning and welcome back. That's right, you are listening to Scout Team Sports. We bring it to you hot and live like we do each and every morning, Monday through Friday. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
And all of that is true. And the man on the other microphone, he is a great patriot. He is more patriotic than the NBA trade deadline, and that would be...
Yeah, it's your boy Chris America coming to you live this January 29th, Eric Dickerson Day, Loudbeard. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning. The air is cold and crisp outside, but it's going to raise to a nice 69 degrees. Why couldn't they have the Pro Bowl on today, Loudbeard?
You know, I was thinking the same thing yesterday. I was driving through the beautiful city of Orlando. I looked up, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. It was a beautiful day, a little chilly, but not too bad considering people up in the frozen tundra right now are getting pummeled with freezing cold air.
Everybody would have
Unbelievable.
taken sunny and 60 around the nation yesterday.
Oh, absolutely.
And
So,
football players love that kind of weather.
oh, yeah, that's the perfect kind of weather because you're cool enough where you don't get overheated, but it's beautiful out and you can go and have a good time. So the weather was perfect yesterday, perfect today. The one day the Pro Bowl is in Orlando is the worst day of weather the entire year, and that seems to happen each and every year. So I don't know if the Pro Bowl will come back or not. They may curse Orlando just because that one day every year we have bad weather seems to be the day they play the game. But the rest of the week was great. The skills challenge, all that, they had great weather. Hopefully the Pro Bowl comes back. I guess we'll have to wait and see on that, but beautiful weather, bring it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, weather.
Thank you, weather.
All right, we have a great show
All right,
ahead
that
of us
awkward
today.
silence was brought to you by Dayquil.
Yeah,
If you,
that-
or NyQuil. When
I
you
was
need
like
silence.
hanging it up there for you, and then no, weather. Anyway, we have a great show ahead of us today, and a lot of stuff to dive into. Yesterday, as we were finishing our show, actually right when we got off the air, I looked down
Oh,
and I
yeah.
had a breaking news story. This is the
Woj
biggest
bomb.
story. Oh, huge Woj bomb. Now, we're going to get into that because that, to me, is the biggest story of the day.
Well, Loudbeard, I have to ask, how do you think Woj started his day yesterday? Like, do you think he gets up at 5, runs on the treadmill, starts texting contacts? Like, how does he get that kind of information that early in the morning?
That's a good question. I
Because,
believe
like you
he's
said, it was right at
actually-
7.
I think he's actually a robot. He doesn't require sleep.
doesn't require- it's just-
he doesn't need to eat. He just oils up every once in a while. He's like Bender from Futurama.
I like that. Bender from Futurama needs alcohol to stay going.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of us out there in the world. Present
Sad but
company
true.
included.
Oh, man. So, Loudbeard, we do get that Woj bomb that Anthony Davis does not want an extension. He's not going to sign it in the offseason. He wants out of New Orleans. And we talked about this a little while back when there was rumors and hints about this. And we said if he leaves that $240 million contract on the table, then there really is nothing teams like New Orleans, Orlando, Milwaukee, what are some other small markets around the league? Maybe Memphis. There's nothing that we can do, can we?
No, these players are going to do absolutely everything they want to do, right? It doesn't matter what roadblocks, what speed bumps, what you put in their way. They're still going to go where they want to go. And again, the amount of money they're making, they can make a lot of that up in endorsements, especially if they go to a big town like a New York and an LA, which are always at the top of the list. Anytime somebody wants to get traded, oh, New York and LA are players in this game. Well, yeah, of course. So you always hear about the Knicks and the Lakers, and that's what's happening here with Anthony Davis. But you're right, the league can't do anything to stop all of this. It's crazy. Now, I will say that the Pelicans, they immediately jumped on the NBA and said, whoa. I think you guys need to look at some tampering with this case. I think an investigation needs to be set because several months ago, LeBron James mentioned it would be great to play with the brow, so there's definitely tampering going on with the Lakers. So the NBA has actually opened up an investigation, and you know what's going to happen? Anthony Davis will get fined. I'm sure he'll get fined, a pretty good amount, the normal average man's salary for a year. He will get fined that, but when you're making hundreds of millions of dollars, do you think that is going to stop somebody?
No.
Absolutely not, Chris.
Here's what I found fascinating, though. Everybody talks about New York. When was the last time? Is it Carmelo Anthony? That's the answer, right? Carmelo Anthony is the last time or the only time in the last 20 years, 30 years that they've landed a big-name franchise player to want to sign to New York as a free agent. I can't think of anybody else.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct, and I agree with you on that, Chris America. I mean, we always talk about the Knicks being players in the free agency dilemma and everything going on. You know what happens is they always miss out. New York is not an attractive place for players to go, and I don't think it has anything to do with the media. I just think it's a poorly run organization. James Dolan is not a good owner. It's just one of those places that players' careers go to die. And as we saw with Carmelo, even when you have some talent out there, and the Knicks had one respectable year, I think, with Carmelo there. Even when there was some talent and they had one respectable year, it's not like other players were flocking to go there. Guys like Joakim Noah, at the end of his career, the Knicks give him a huge contract. He does nothing. I mean, the Knicks are at that point where they're signing free agents that are over the hill or past their prime or just guys that aren't big splashes, even though the Knicks are always there at the top. I can guarantee you Anthony Davis does not go to the New York Knicks. I feel like right now it's a 99.9% chance that he does not go to the Knicks. I'll give it the 0.01% chance. I'm not a weatherman. I don't say 100% chance of rain. I say a 99.9% chance that Anthony Davis does not end up on the Knicks because the Knicks, they don't attract talent, even though their name is always in the conversation.
Yeah, and Loudbeard, the one good thing that I like about this deal for the New Orleans Pelicans is they have a ton of leverage. And they have the leverage because Anthony Davis is not an unrestricted free agent next season. He has to wait until after next season before he becomes an unrestricted free agent. So you're not getting a rented player here. You're not getting a guy for 30-plus games. You're getting a guy for a season and 30-plus games. So come talk to me about some real deals. This isn't a he wants out and we want to get something for nothing kind of deal for New Orleans. And I like that for them. And I hope that they use that leverage to their advantage. Do not just give away Anthony Davis to the Lakers for free or the New York Knicks for free. Make the Lakers or the Knicks or Houston or Oklahoma City or whoever wants him, make them pay for Anthony Davis.
Oh, absolutely. And right now, all the reports are coming out that the Pelicans won a king's ransom, and good for them. They need some pieces to rebuild this team, because if you lose a superstar like Anthony Davis, you need to kind of start over and get all your ducks in a row and get back on that saddle, and you don't want it to be something that cripples the organization. And we've seen this in the past where a superstar will leave, and it will inevitably hurt that organization for years and years to come. And that's not what we want to see out of the Pelicans. And again, we're in the Central Florida area. We're Orlando Magic fans. We've been kind of through the ups and downs of this whole mess. and we understand where the Pelicans stand. And the Pelicans, this isn't their first rodeo with losing a big superstar. Here in Orlando, we lost Shaq, and then we lost Dwight Howard as the two big superstars. The Pelicans had Chris Paul. And remember when the league took ownership of the Pelicans and Chris Paul almost went to the Lakers and then the league nixed it and then he went to the Clippers? It was another situation where there was a superstar that was wanting to get out of town. So now you're going through that whole rigmarole again. And as a small market team, as a fan, it stinks, man. It is not a good feeling to go through that. So that whole King's Ransom idea, bring it. Let's see what your best offers are. And right now the Pelicans are saying, we do not need to trade him today. We don't need to trade him before the trade deadline. We could trade him in the offseason. Saying that, they just strengthen their leverage. These teams, if they want to get Anthony Davis right before this February trade deadline, they're going to have to bring their best offers. And Chris America, if I was an NBA GM, which I am not, but if I was, hypothetically, theoretically, if I was an NBA GM, I would bring a monster of an offer to get Anthony Davis on my team because you're getting him for a minimum year and a half. You're going to have a run this year and a run next year, guaranteed, if you can get this guy on your team. And there are a lot of suitors out there. I would be all in right now. Let's not let this thing play out. Give them the best up front, and let's make this happen. Do the old Godfather. Give him a deal that he can't refuse right here, Chris America. That's what my best GM impersonation would be.
I like that, Loudbeard, and you're right, man. I feel for the New Orleans Pelican fans because you mentioned our woes with keeping big-name stars. And New Orleans seems like they've had it since they moved from Charlotte to New Orleans. You know, you mentioned Chris Paul, you mentioned DeMarcus Cousins, now Anthony Davis. It seems like they've done a really good job drafting NBA players, probably as well as Oklahoma City has done over the years. It's just they're not able to draft them or get them onto the same team so they can become the competitors that they would be if they had Chris Paul, DeMarcus Cousins, and Anthony Davis all on the same team with a few good role players and everything. It just seems like they're missing the beat. As soon as Chris Paul leaves, they get DeMarcus Cousins. And then they had DeMarcus and Anthony Davis together for a while, but for whatever reason, it just didn't mesh. You know, kind of like the Wizards out there with Bradley Beal and John Wall. It just didn't seem, for whatever reason, to be working. And so now DeMarcus Cousins is out, and now Anthony Davis is left on an island all alone on an okay team, right? We mentioned just how Milwaukee's kind of like that. Milwaukee's just a lot better than what the Pelicans have going on. And I want to talk to you about that, Loud. But everybody's talking, the Lakers, the Knicks, all these like typical teams. Why not Milwaukee, Loudbeard? Why not Toronto? What about these two teams that are right there? They're on the cusp of being a championship team, not making the playoffs, not making a deep run. Like Milwaukee and Toronto are basically on a path to the Eastern Conference Finals together, and then one of them has to make it to the championship to play the Warriors. They could use an Anthony Davis to help with that cause of beating and taking down the Warriors, Loudbeard. Which team do you think Anthony Davis would fit more on between Milwaukee and Toronto?
That's a great question. I haven't heard on the rumor speculation, which I've been keeping an eye on.
There's no rumors there, but I think why not those two teams?
Well, that's what I was getting to.
Yeah,
so,
sorry.
It's okay. So I haven't heard any rumors on either of these teams, but the point that you bring up is that why not? And you hear the big teams, the Lakers and the Knicks, but you don't hear these smaller teams. But there are some teams out there that would make sense. And you would hope that some of these teams would rise. The cream would kind of rise to the top. And with the Toronto Raptors, to me, that would be the best fit because you would bring in a real superstar to put next to Kawhi. Not to take anything away from Kyle Lowry. And that team is so deep. When you talk about this deep bench, you have some pieces that you could trade and that you could bring value back to the Pelicans and still keep some of those core guys. So to me, the Raptors would make more sense out of the two of between the Bucks and the between the Bucks and the Raptors. Now, the challenge I have with Giannis is a tall, athletic guy. He's kind of like an Anthony Davis. I feel like the two of them are very similar in style of play and what they can do. Now, Anthony Davis is more of your traditional power forward, but you've also got Giannis, who becomes more of a ball handler and does a little bit of everything for Milwaukee. So I could see where they would fit in together, but maybe not as well. The problem is I don't believe the Bucks have enough talent around Giannis to be able to trade. I mean, I guess Chris Middleton would have to be a centerpiece around that trade, and then throw in a future first-round draft pick, a couple other pieces. But I don't know if that would be enough to pry Anthony Davis out of the Pelicans' hands. Whereas I believe the Raptors do have enough pieces. It's just what they would be willing to part with. And I'm kind of thinking that this organization feels like they're going to make a deep run anyway, so maybe they won't be big players, and they may be worried about breaking up the chemistry of that team. So that's what I would say are the why those teams aren't being mentioned. But if I were the Raptors, I would explore that. I think every NBA team should explore the possibility of Anthony Davis. But the Raptors, to me, that would be a great location for him, and that would be a lot of fun to watch. I'm telling you, that Raptors team with Anthony Davis would be an NBA champion contender. They would be able to battle with Golden State if they have Anthony Davis and Kawhi, and they could keep some of their other core pieces. That would be a fun team to watch, Chris America.
Yeah, I mean, Lowry, Kawhi, and Davis could be the next big three. And I think it would be enough to get all three to want to stay in Toronto, to want to keep that momentum going. We kind of saw that with Oklahoma City, right? We get Paul George there. Paul George, for all intents and purposes, had his mind set on playing for the LA Lakers. Then you put him on a team with Westbrook, and for whatever reason, he liked it there, obviously enough to re-sign. And if you would have asked Paul George maybe 3 seasons ago if he had any desire to go to Oklahoma City, he probably would have told you no. But then he gets to the city, he sees how much there is potential there, and he likes playing with Westbrook, and he decides, man, I never thought about it, but I'm here, and we're doing well, and I want to see this thing through, so I'm going to re-sign with this team. Forget the LA Lakers. That could happen with Kawhi and DeMarcus, or sorry, not DeMarcus Cousins, but Anthony Davis. If they play together in Toronto, they might say, hey, man, we got a good thing going in Toronto, and the Lakers are still an unknown, or these other teams that I want to go to are still an unknown, so let me stick with the sure thing here in Toronto. I think it would be great for the league if that happened.
Oh, you're 100% correct, Chris America. I'm
Now,
with you on that, man. Toronto would be great for the league. The problem is, what would not be great for the league, at least in my opinion, is the Lakers going back into the arms race and going after them. And that is where everything is leaning right now, is towards the Lakers.
Well, Loudbeard, Woj dropped another bomb yesterday.
Did he really? I didn't hear his
Yes.
other bomb.
Yes, this
You
was...
got it. Can you play it for us?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me
All right,
cue
that
it up.
sounds like a plan.
Will
Cue
be
it up. Yeah, get
on
the old
case
film
scenario
reel
for the
together.
Lakers is they
All right, here goes Woj on ESPN.
case scenario for the Lakers is they add Anthony Davis, and then Golden State doesn't offer Klay Thompson a max contract. They try to get Klay to take a little bit less than the max. And if that happens, I'm told Klay's attention will be on the Lakers if they have Anthony Davis. Now, we'll see what Golden State does there. They've got a lot of players to pay going forward. They want to re-sign Kevin Durant. They certainly want to re-sign Klay. They've got Draymond Green coming up in free agency the following year. It's going to be a
Sorry, the video cut off there, but
That was
Could
an
you-
explosive Woj bomb.
yeah, he's being told. And when Woj tells you he's being told, you're basically getting it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, he's a legit source. We would agree with that.
He's the most legit source in all of sports. And so, Loudbeard, you talked about an arms race. That would be it would be great for LA Laker fans, awful for everybody else if Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James played on the same team. The Warriors would be done at that point, I think.
Yeah, the Warriors would be done, and the nice thing for the NBA would be that I guess you lose that back and forth where it's always going to be Golden State winning. So you get that broken up. But again, you get one heavy team, and the Lakers are back. But it would be good for LeBron James. This is a huge bomb here in Chris America. This is quite a lot to take in. Now, the Lakers, obviously they're going to be players in this Anthony Davis deal, but they need to be all in right now. I'm telling you, they need to be all in. And it makes sense because they have young players who they can afford to trade off. These guys, they can afford to send somewhere else. And they, I think, have the best package to be able to offer New Orleans. So I don't see a scenario where the Lakers aren't getting Anthony Davis right now. Like, to me, I mean, I'm not going to say 100%, but it just, all signs are pointing to Anthony Davis getting on the Lakers. And if Magic Johnson's smart, which I believe he is, he's going to be in there, and he is going to be doing everything possible to send the best package to New Orleans, because despite what is around LeBron James, LeBron needs a superstar, and all those other young pieces that we continue to talk about, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, all of those guys can go away, and if they have LeBron and AD, they're going to be good. And if they can get Klay Thompson, a splash brother, in the offseason, number one, you're breaking up that nucleus of Golden State. Number two, you're just adding firepower to the Lakers. I think the Lakers are going to be back, and all of this makes sense now why LeBron went to the Lakers, because Magic Johnson said, just give me time. I think we were all questioning it. Last year, I was questioning it. The Lakers, why are you going to the Lakers? They stink. Well, now guess what? They could turn the tides in the matter of 2 years and be the best team in the league, go from worst to best in 2 years just because of LeBron going, and then now this Anthony Davis potential trade, and then a potential free agent splash. Lakers are set up for success right here. They're set up to be the best again.
Yeah, and as a non-Laker fan and as a fan of somebody who likes seeing new teams constantly winning championships, I hate it, man. I just do. And it has nothing to do with it being the LA Lakers. It's the Warriors, too. If Anthony Davis were to go to Oklahoma City and then Oklahoma City were to become that team, I'd like it a little bit better because it's a new team. It's a new area. Same with Toronto. But you know, I don't know, man. It's just, I think that's just the way the league's going to go. You're going to have a team that gets assembled, nobody can stop them, and then the rest of the league scrambles, and then finally one team figures it out, and then they become the next super team.
Yeah, it does. It seems like the piece to the puzzle right there is it just, you got to get your big three or big four, get them going in the right direction, and until I think what's going to happen at Golden State is the money. Eventually, the money catches up. Kevin Durant took a little bit of a pay cut to go there, but he's not going to want to again. Klay Thompson's going to want to get paid. Draymond's going to want to get paid. Steph got paid. I mean, there's only so much money to go around. And Boogie Cousins, he's on a one-year deal. He's going to want to get paid next year. He was on that small deal because of his injury. Money's going to break this team up.
Yeah, and Woj even talked about that Klay now wants the max deal. He's been making great money, obviously, but he's sitting there and he's watching Steph Curry with, what did he get, around a $38-40 million deal. Kevin Durant's hanging around with a $35 million deal. And eventually when you hang out with guys that make that much more money than you and you can have that same kind of money, you kind of want it, don't you, Loudbeard?
Oh, absolutely. You've got to do what's best for yourself. We've always been player advocates here on the Scout team. We believe the players should go out and get everything that they deserve, what they've earned, because a team will turn around. If you stink, they won't re-sign you. Other teams won't re-sign you. But if you play good and you're playing on a minimum deal, or if you're playing on a less than what you should be making deal, it's not like they're going to give you extra money. They're going to say, oh, your contract says this. So go get as much as you can while you can, because it doesn't last forever. Your skills eventually diminish, and then your value diminishes. So while you're at your peak, which Klay Thompson is at the peak of his career, I think you get that max money, you make that money. That's generation-changing money. Your great-great-grandkids will need that money eventually. So go earn it now and make it work for you. And go. You've won your championships. This team has done what they've needed to do. I think at some point you say, well, I'm not in it to win 100 championships. I need to be a little selfish. I need to get the money I want, and I'll go play for some other guys. I want to experience being on a different team. Maybe he's tired of being in Steph Curry's shadow. A guy like that could be a number one scorer on a big-time team. Or just imagine if he went to the Lakers, the amount of attention LeBron would get, and then he would dish out to Klay. Klay would be killing it, absolutely killing it. This guy has so much more potential, but he's always kind of taken that little brother seat back to Steph Curry. He's always been a little bit of that side piece almost. And that's okay because it's worked and they've won championships, but it's his time. He can be selfish. Go get that max deal, Klay. Break up that Golden State team. It's time. And I don't think Kevin Durant is going to stick around either. I think Kevin Durant did what he wanted to do, and when he comes up for free agency, I think he's going to open up his options also.
Yeah, I'm looking at their contracts now. This year, Steph gets $37.5 million. Kevin Durant's going to get $31.5 million, and then Klay Thompson, man, they've been getting him at a bargain these last 4 seasons. He's making $18 million, close to $19 million. But the last 3 seasons, he's made $15.5, $16.5, and $17.8 million. Man, in the NBA, in today's league, the way that, J.J. Redick had a $24 million contract last year. If you're telling me I can get Steph Curry for 18, or sorry, Klay Thompson for 18.9, or I can get J.J. Redick for 24, I'll take Klay Thompson 18 all day. So yeah, he's definitely going to want to get that max contract deal. I didn't realize he was making that little. To us, that's a ton of money, but when he's going to watch Steph Curry jump up to $40 million next year, and in 3 years, Steph, on 21-22 season, Steph Curry is going to make $45 million. It's kind of crazy they built his contract to be the latter. So I think they're kind of waiting. They were wanting to keep Klay and Durant for as long as they could, so they made Steph's contract to start out low and end up high.
Yeah, because Steph's the face over there. He's going to be the face no matter what. But I think the Splash Brothers themselves were the face of that organization. But at some point, all good things come to an end, and I see the writing on the wall because you're right. He's not making as much as he could be making right now, or as he should be making. And you sign those deals, like he signed a 4-year deal, and you go through that. At the time of the contract, it's probably sounded like a ton of money. And 4 years ago in the NBA, contracts were a little bit different. But as they've elevated each and every year, there's guys making a lot more money than he is, and he is a productive player, and he deserves a max contract. Team's going to pay him, and he will be on another team. I can easily see that happening, and he deserves every penny.
Yeah, I agree, man. Well, we're coming up on a break, Loudbeard. On the other side, we're going to do some thinker or stinkers. Hopefully you have your thinking cap on. We've gone all NBA this whole segment. So is there any other NBA news you wanna hit on before we go into the break in 2 minutes?
Yeah. Just kind of
or are we just gonna go
thing here.
NBA it all out today?
You know what? I could do NBA all day, every day, my friend. But
NBA
I do want to
day.
say, with this Anthony Davis trade, there's a lot of side stories that have kind of came out about it. I mentioned that investigation the NBA was doing, but the Lonzo Ball camp, I guess they're seeing the writing on the wall also, and they've come out and said, hey, we don't want to go to the Pelicans. I know that Lonzo Ball's going to be in this trade deal. Get a third team involved. Please, we don't want to go to the Pelicans. Now, I think that was coming out because Drew Holiday is a good point guard for the Pelicans, so they know Lonzo's not going to be the starter. So they're saying, bring Lonzo Ball to a team that needs a point guard. Now, if you need a point guard, you might be that third team that gets involved and adds a couple extra pieces. And there's some teams out there that are in need of a good point guard, one of being the Orlando Magic here locally. So if Orlando becomes that third team in a trade to bring AD over to Los Angeles and we were able to get Lonzo Ball, and we just had to give up a couple small pieces just to make the trade work. Chris America, would you be welcoming and with open arms Lonzo and LeVar Ball to Orlando?
Well, Loudbeard, on the other side of the break, I'll let you know if I will have my arms wide open for Big Baller Brand.
When I'm working hard, I build up a thirst for sports. That's when I grab a cold 12-ounce sports radio. 12-ounce sports radio. Quench your sports thirst.
Scout Team listeners and friends of the show, I've got something special for you. It looks like 12-ounce sports radio has done it again. We have partnered with Rally House. You just go to the website 12ozsportsradio.com. Click on the banner on the right side of the page, and it will take you directly to Rally House. Rally House has some of the greatest, most unique sports items for that diehard fan, casual fan, and anybody and everybody out there that is special in your life. So go ahead and check it out. Once again, go to that website, 12ozsportsradio.com. Click on the banner to the right of the page, and you will get taken to the best sports merchandise website on all of the interweb.
Ring Central features all-in-one phone, messaging, and video conferencing. It's easy to use with unparalleled security. Ring Central simplifies things so you can grow. Call Ring Central to speak with a representative about a price for your growing business at 877-779-3860. Again, that's 877-779-3860.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite Patriot, Chris America, and I want you to listen every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and on replays from 11 a.m. to noon of Scout Team Sports. Listen, George Washington did not cross over the ocean blue in 1492 to defeat the Nazis, so you can listen to the same tired national clickbait sports stories. So once again, tune in to us every single morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and then we replay from 11 to noon. I will see you there, and God bless America.
We just wanted to thank everybody for listening in. This has been a great episode of Scout Team Sports, but we have a fantastic another 30 minutes ahead of us. You are listening to myself, Loudbeard, and the man on the other microphone, Chris America. We bring it to you hot and live like we do each and every morning, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. on 12-ounce sports radio, and replay again at 11. You can also download our podcast. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or anywhere you can find a podcast. We are also available now up in Canada on the Barn Burner Network. We're excited to be a part of the Barn Burner Network. So make sure you listen in and check for local times on Barn Burner. Check them out. Chris America is there on the other line, and he's going to answer my question about the Orlando Magic being a third team in a potential LA Lakers trade. But if Lonzo Ball and the big mouth LeVar Ball come to Orlando and Lonzo becomes a big-time point guard for the Magic, would Chris America welcome him with open arms? Just like Creed.
Yes. With the arms wide open.
I wish I had that drop right now. I need to get that. Just welcome him with arms wide open.
Oh, Loudbeard, this is a tough one because I am not a fan of the circus especially when the player's talent does not outweigh the circus. So with LeBron in LA, the circus has been shut down, has it not? I don't even can remember the last time LeVar Ball was on the airwaves when he was talking. Like, he's been completely non-existent this year, has he not, or did I miss things?
No, I was thinking the same thing. He's kind of gotten quiet. One, because Lonzo's play on the court he's not a transformational player by any means. He's a good player. He's a good piece. He's a good point guard. But all that talk, it's kind of quieted down. And when LeBron gets in town, his shadow just basically squished LeVar Ball. And hey, I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah, I'm not either. So if he came to Orlando, we're not going to have LeBron James there to crush that circus like you mentioned. And I don't think Nick Vucevic, I don't think his shadow is as nearly as oppressive either. So
No.
I
Nope.
think we would see the old LeVar Ball rear its old head again and have that running around Orlando, demanding things, running things, basically doing what he did at UCLA. I don't know that I want that here, man. I don't know that Lonzo Ball, you just mentioned it, his play has not given LeVar Ball the reason to overcome LeBron James, shadow and oppressiveness that he brings. Not oppressive, that's the wrong word. It makes LeBron sound like a bad guy. He's actually doing a good thing for the world here by quieting LeVar Ball.
He deserves a medal.
Yeah, he does. A Nobel Peace Prize. Anyway, so I don't know, man. Like, do we need a point guard? Yes. Would it be nice just to get Lonzo Ball, the player, and see how he develops in our system and in our franchise? I would love that. If LeVar promised to be good and stay quiet and not give us the headache with it, I would love to have Lonzo Ball, the player, here. I just don't know that I want his dad.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, I don't know, Chris America. I'd love the player. The dad, I don't know if it would bother me too much, but maybe it's because he has been so quiet. I forgot how ridiculous he was. It's almost like it's kind of gone in one ear, out the other, so I've forgotten about it, but that dude was out of control ridiculous, and I don't know if I could deal with that here in Orlando. You're right. I think that would be overwhelming. It could be a hypothetical that never happens, but if Lonzo comes, I would welcome Lonzo to the Orlando Magic. We could use any help that we can get. We just can't win, so we need somebody that can help us get over that hump and actually win some games. And we're starting to become a tragic organization, and I'd rather go back to being the Orlando Magic, and hopefully Lonzo could help that out. Now, Chris America, you teased this before, but I think I'm ready for it, man. I think I'm ready. I hope you're ready, but it is time.
The thinker or the stinker?
Yes, Loudbeard, it is time for Thinker or Stinker, and since we're on the NBA, I'll go with a few NBA Thinker or Stinkers to start things off. And we'll go with this one it's from Adrian Wojnarowski, but it's not him saying it. It's from the New Orleans Pelicans. Let's see. We kind of talked about this. We hit on this pretty good. It says, our organization's top priority is to bring an NBA championship to our city and fans, build our team for long-term success. Relative to specific talks of a trade, we will do this on our timeline, one that makes sense for our team, and it will not be dictated by those outside. Loudbeard, is that a thinker or a stinker take by the New Orleans Pelicans?
I would have to say that Pelicans, they are running the show. They know what they're doing. They know they have the leverage. They know they're going to do everything they possibly can to put themselves in the best position possible to be successful for long term, and that's just exactly what they're saying. So 100%, I give that a thinker, and that organization, they need to do the right thing. They need to be careful, tread lightly, and make sure that they get some great value in return for Anthony Davis. So, yes, thinker.
All right, here's another one on the Pelican situation. Here's one reason Pelican fans shouldn't feel quite so bad. Anthony Davis has a dominant game, but not a dominant leadership personality. can't lift a team to greater heights. He needs LeBron even more than LeBron needs him.
Ooh, good one. I'm going to have to give that one a thinker also, Chris America. I could easily go stinker on this one, but I'm glad you brought this stinker up because Anthony Davis has gotten some criticism. We're talking right now when a guy like this comes open for trade opportunities, you get to hear how great he is. You get to hear, oh my gosh, this is a once-in-a-lifetime player. He's unbelievable. He's done so many great things. But I want to tell you, Chris America, when you look at the wins and losses since Anthony Davis has been there, Chris America, you have not seen him make the significant impact that you would have thought. And last year was, to me, by far their best year. The Pelicans made a deep run to the playoffs. They had a great year, and part of that was because they had a guy like Rajon Rondo, who they had brought in, who helped that team out quite a bit. Drew Holiday was playing at a high level, and Anthony Davis was playing at an extremely high level. When you look at this year, it's kind of a complete Jekyll and Hyde situation. This team, I believe they're at like the 14th seed in the West. If you have a player that is that good, there's no way you should be a 14th seed in the West. I mean, he's been in the league long enough to have made an impact enough on his team for that team to be better. So I do think that there is some question whether it's a leadership issue or whether it's a talent issue, or maybe we've put this guy up on too high of a pedestal and he's just a stat stuffer. But there's something missing there, and I'm going to say thinker because I think the disconnect could be his leadership style.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head with where they're at. We talked about how New Orleans and Milwaukee are similar. You know, obviously we said Milwaukee is a lot better than New Orleans, but man, Giannis has his Milwaukee Bucks, the 1 seed right now in the East, and Davis has his New Orleans Pelicans 3 from the bottom in the West, and that's a huge difference. We said that if Giannis left Milwaukee would be struggling to even be an 8th seed, and now I would hate to see if Anthony Davis just left this Pelicans, just how bad that Pelicans team would be, but it's still not bad enough that he can't lift them up to at least, like, I don't know, like the Magic level where they're the 4 games out of the playoff spot. But you're right, man. They're not that good, man. He's not making them that good.
Right, and I would say last year part of that was Boogie Cousins being on the team, but Boogie Cousins got injured halfway through the season. When Boogie Cousins got injured, that's actually when Anthony Davis started playing better, and they took their team out. I think they were at 4th seed in the West last year, which 4th seed's great in the West when you have Golden States and Oklahoma Cities and Houston, how they played last year. 4th seed was amazing. This season, my expectation was the Pelicans to sit around that 6, 7, 8 seed. Well, they have totally missed that mark, and they're going like downward spiral, and Anthony Davis sees the writing on the wall. Yes, he has to carry that team. Are there some pieces over there? There's some. Again, I mentioned Drew Holiday. I like Drew Holiday a lot, but I don't think he's a huge piece. I think he's just a small piece, and they're missing. They're devoid of some talent at some other positions. And Anthony Davis, if he's as great as everybody's saying he is, if he should be in MVP conversations, if he should be all of these things, then why is he not winning more games? And I mentioned it with the All-Star selections. Paul George just edged out Anthony Davis in that starting lineup. To me, Paul George deserved it 10 times over than Anthony Davis, but for some reason we put Anthony Davis on a pedestal, and I don't understand.
Yeah, Loudbeard, and you said you were riding the fence. You could have called it a stinker. I think if I told you who said it, you would have gone full-on stinker. This was a Skip Bayless tweet, so that's why I like to kind of keep...
Now I'm agreeing with Skip Bayless.
This is why I like to keep the identities hidden sometimes with this stinker, so that I get your true reaction and not a biased one towards who said it. Now, Loudbeard, I found some life advice on Twitter, and I want you to know, tell me if it's a thinker or stinker life advice. You ready for it?
Yes.
All right, it says, reminder, it only takes 1 second to say, good morning, I love you, I apologize, can we talk, you were right, Jason Tatum is only 20. Carmelo Anthony was the greatest Hawk and Bull ever. Stop letting your pride and ego hold you hostage from the happiness in life. Loudbeard, is that a thinker or stinker life advice?
That is stinker. It's completely stinky. Just whole
Come
thing
on,
smells
what
bad.
was it? Was it the you were right? Is that something that you just can't tell me?
Yep,
Loudbeard?
no, I'm always right. So that one's a stinker. The apologizing thing. I think everybody should hunker down and apologize every once in a while when they do something stupid. I think the pride sometimes gets in the way. That's a good one. There was one in the middle there. What was that one? I can't remember all of them. There, maybe Carmelo. Go ahead again with it.
Okay, the last one. You're talking about the last one?
Yeah.
To me, that was the most solid one. Carmelo Anthony was the greatest Hawk and Bull ever. I mean, there's no arguing that, is there?
No, there isn't. There isn't. That you're right.
Stop letting your pride get a hold of you guys. It's all true.
Yep.
All right, Loudbeard. Let's switch gears over to the NFL. You know, it's media days, Loudbeard.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of fun media day stuff going on.
Well, somebody asked Wade Phillips about planning for Tom Brady in the postseason and what's the plan this time around, and he told me his plan is to get in an earpiece with Tom Brady. He told me to get an earpiece with Tony Romo in it to tell him what's going to happen before each play.
I know we're not doing this segment anymore, but that's the thinker.
No, this is the segment.
Oh, we're still doing thinker or stinker?
Yeah. I got one more after
you're
that.
just going to the media day? That one is definitely a thinker. Tony Romo has impressed me more than any other analyst on TV has impressed me. And it's not just because I absolutely have a hatred for Troy Aikman, and that spills over to Joe Buck also, but the duo is absolutely the worst duo ever known to man. I also hated Phil Simms when he was a commentator. He was absolutely garbage. And now I get Tony Romo, who is just a ray of sunshine. He's an absolute ray of sunshine. He knows all the plays, and if I was Wade Phillips, I know you say that in media day in jest, but on a side note, he's going to be calling the game. You better get Tony Romo. You better get the live feed on your earpiece because that man knows what's going to happen. He knows.
Oh, he definitely knows. And Loudbeard, I got two more for you. One's going to be non-media day, and then we'll end it on another media day with a video clip. While you're talking, I'll pull that up. But pro tip, don't watch any nature shows with 4-year-olds unless you are prepared to answer 435,987 questions that you don't actually know the answers to.
I'm going to say stinker because I think that number is off by about 4. So if you're going to do the right number, you get a thinker. But if you're going to throw out just numbers
just some
that are
random
just absurd,
number.
No, this isn't just random time. But, no, not a good idea. You're right. Thinker, stinker, it's both. The number's off, stinker there. The actual idea itself, it's a thinker.
Yeah, and it doesn't end at 4 either. It's still going at 10.
Yeah, those aren't conversations you want to be having.
Yes,
not,
all right.
Not
so
for
Loudbeard,
the Discovery Channel, at least.
Loudbeard, I got a video clip of a question asked to Ndamukong Suh. I want you to tell me if it's a thinker or stinker type of question.
Dominic, question for you. Maybe more of a statement. I think it's well regarded you're one of the dirtier players in the NFL. As a Brady fan, I just want to warn you, we'll be watching you. Don't bring any of that stuff Sunday or after the game. We'll take it outside the locker room.
Make sure you have a nice day, sir.
All right.
All right,
Come
Loudbeard.
on, that's a stinker.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a total stinker. Why is that allowed at Media Day? That guy should be thrown out. I think that's ridiculous. Now, I know Ndamukong Suh gets that dirty player rap, and I mean he's done some bad things. I think didn't he have the Aaron Rodgers kick or something?
Oh yeah,
point?
the stomp on the leg.
Yeah. I mean that people are gonna remember that. But when's the last time you heard something dirty about Ndamukong Suh? I feel like it's been 4 or 5 years. Yeah, I mean just let the guy go. He's moved on. Like, come on. I don't like talking about him being the dirtiest player. I feel like he's moved past that. Maybe that was some immaturity. He seems like he's grown up. Give the guy a chance. Move on past that. Second, we're going to meet you out of the locker room. Come on, that's stupid. you're making
Yeah.
yourself look bad. You're making all Boston sports fans look like idiots when you say something like that, and that's absolutely absurd. And that is the biggest stinker I've ever heard in my life, Chris America. And as I'm sitting here, I love your segment.
The thinker or the stinker.
But that was the biggest stinker I've ever heard.
That was
in my
the biggest
entire
thing
life.
you ever heard. Now, if I were to give you one guess as to which, I guess they're kind of considered a major network, but what major sports network do you think would be known for asking a question like that at Media Days?
TMZ?
Close.
ESPN Ocho?
Yeah, ESPN Ocho. No, that's David Portnoy from Barstool Sports.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's a crazy mofo. You know, the Barstool Sports guys,
They're kind of hit or miss, right? Some of them you love, and some of them you're like, all right, we get it. It's a shtick, but like, come up with something new.
I think they're, I agree with that. They're hit or miss. I like Pardon My Take. I think the guys there are pretty funny,
Yeah.
Big Cat and PFT. Some of the other ones get a little too edgy. I think they're trying to be edgy just to be edgy, and sometimes that becomes the miss.
Challenging
Dave
a
Portnoy's-
330-pound defensive lineman who is known as one of the dirtiest players to a fight outside of the locker room is one of those, like, too edgy for me. Like, now you're just forcing it.
Yeah, that seemed forced. It sounded like just a dumb fan on the streets talking tough, and it was at the media day. I'm sure that was to get publicity for his show and
Oh yeah,
and
and
all
it
that.
worked.
And for the
it
for
works
the-
because
you know.
I saw that clip on a whole bunch of other media people's Twitter feeds. So he got what he wanted.
Yeah, it worked. Well, I mean, he's a smart marketing guy. Barstool has really blown up over the last few years. They've taken it, so I can't blame the dude for that. And now that you say who it was, it all makes perfect sense. But
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought.
it's
If I
still
give you
stinker.
one guess, I mean TMZ was a solid guess. I would say it would be between Barstool and TMZ if asking that sort of question.
Yeah, I didn't even think of Barstool. I should have. Good call there, Chris America.
Yeah, Loudbeard, that was a New York Knicks type stinker right there.
Yeah.
0-10, 10-game losing streak for the Knicks. I'm just looking at the NBA standings right now, and I just saw
Oh, yeah,
that.
it's really attractive for Anthony Davis, right?
Oh, yeah,
0-10.
especially a guy who wants to go to a
Yeah,
winner.
He really wants to go there.
All right, Loudbeard, what else we got to finish off the show the last 3 minutes?
Well, I could talk about Anthony Davis for days, but I did want to throw out
All day Anthony Davis?
one last thing. Your guy, we're getting into Super Bowl week. It's media day. How about a good, feel-good, heartwarming story about Bill Belichick? How about that to finish off our day?
You know, when I think of feel-good, heartwarming, welcoming, you know, just that kind of thing, Bill Belichick, first person on my mind.
Yep. So I'm going to read a little bit here, something from Sean McVay. Sean McVay was talking about his great relationship that he has with Bill Belichick. He said that, Bill, this season he has basically texted me after every one of our games. Okay, that's nice of Bill. McVay said, after we beat Minnesota in September, he texted, "Man, you guys are really explosive and impressive and fun to watch. Congratulations. Keep it rolling." That's that really feel-good, warm Bill Belichick for you. For him to take the time to say congrats, it was pretty cool, Sean McVay was saying to the media. He really feels like Bill Belichick is really looking out for him. So McVay says, that's one of the things I like about our business, our fraternity of coaches. As competitive as it is, guys find time to share when they can. I'm still young, still figuring it out. That's the stuff that's really been helpful to me. So Sean McVay looks at Bill Belichick as a mentor, a guy that's out there looking out for him. And Bill Belichick has taken Sean McVay under his wing. And, this has just become a really good, feel-good, heartwarming story. And I love you, Bill Belichick and Sean McVay. Keep bringing the love. Keep the hugs and kisses coming.
Or Bill Belichick, being the great identifier of talent, realized that he may be playing Sean McVay in the Super Bowl down the road. And he pulled an old Buffalo Bob where he says, "Hey, man, how you doing? I'm Buffalo Bob. Yeah, I can help you out. Come on inside the house. Let me talk to you about my Auto Trader car. Oh, look, there's a giant hole. Push you in, put the lotion in on the skin."
Chris America. I
It
think
puts
it is
the
a
lotion
Buffalo
on the
Bob.
skin, or else it gets the hose again, man.
It wasn't that Buffalo Bill?
Well, I was thinking Buffalo Bob from Joe Dirt.
Oh, yep. You're right. Same guy. It puts the lotion on
the skin.
skin.
Oh, well, Albert, that's it, man.
On that note, I
Let's
just
end
gotta
it
say,
on Joe Dirt / Silence of the Lambs references.
that's all I can say about that. Thank you all for listening again. Once again, this is Scout Team Sports bringing it to you hot. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. on 12-ounce Sports Radio. Make sure you download our podcast at Apple Podcast and subscribe.
Hey, Louder, do you want another nightmare scenario? Okay, I guess you're gone. I'll tell you the
No,
nightmare
what'd you say?
scenario.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know, I know the other nightmare scenario.
What's that?
Belichick grooms him to come to New England to take his place after he retires.
Ooh. We call that America Bomb.